When I sat down to write this review, I started by putting on some Limp Bizkit and looking at other reviews for some inspiration, you know, just in case I missed something in my writer's notes. And I came across this comment that simply read, "It's like a game from a 360 era. It's wild that that's a compliment nowadays." And other than the grammatical error, it perfectly sums up this game in ways I hadn't even realised. I felt like Danny DeVito seeing the face of God or whatever was happening there. I haven't seen that film or TV, whatever the fuck it is, I haven't seen it. It felt like opening the door to a sealed tomb, letting fresh air into my life. So that's what I want to talk about today. The good, the bad, and the tedious. I won't be going into depth about the whole story because there's so many paths you can go down that it would probably add an extra hour onto this video. So instead I'm just going to give like a general overview of the story. So let's do that. Developed by Rebellion Development. Anybody out there who says they've never heard of them, fuck off, dude. Of course you've heard of them. Poser. They're the masterminds behind the amazing Sniper Elite games.
Double kill, triple kill, overkill.
They also made the absolute banger that was Judge Dredd vs. Death.
Dredd, I've been expecting you. I am the law!
So, it speaks for itself, really. They did make that god-awful AVP game from 2010, but we've all made mistakes in our lives, so I'm willing to forgive.
Oh my god. It's Patrick Stewart, Jeff Bezos, Agent 47. What other bald guys are there?
Joe Rogan.
That game was terrible. Like an absolute idiot, I was telling people that they made the Warriors game from 2005, but that was Rockstar. And everyone was like, no, yeah, that's true, they did. So, who's the real idiot here? When Atomfall was announced, people lost their minds. British Fallout? Yes, please. But it's not that. Not really. Atomfall was inspired by Fallout New Vegas, but it's not like Fallout. I mean, it's British. Sure, there's roving bands of outlaws, quaint rural towns hiding a brutal and ruthless truth, ferals lurking in dark, dangerous tunnels and basements, and a secret government project that pretty much caused everything. But it's not like Fallout, goddammit. Get that through your head. It's British. It's set in Britain. Set in the Lake District of Cumbria in the late 60s in an alternate reality where the Windscale nuclear plant went critical and covered the whole area in aftermath. I had no idea that this was actually based on real events. I thought they just made up an area of northern England where a nuclear power plant was built, pissing off the locals. I really need to brush up on my British history. I won't be caught slipping again. Basing the setting on a real place kind of explains why the landscapes are so gorgeous. Oh, this looks so good. Look at this. I mean, shit, if there's quaint little towns like this in the Lake District, then I'm considering going there for my next holiday. The settings are absolutely gorgeous, from the first area, Slattendale, to the forests of Casterfell. Was your love, love, love on my face? It really felt like somewhere you would come across on a hike through the British countryside. The town of Wyndham actually felt like a place I'd been before. Like, it was so familiar to me that I could almost direct you to the local chippy. Oh my god, I would actually love to go for a pint here. Look at this place. Shut up, love. I looked up Wyndham Village, and the only one I found was in Bridgend, here in Wales. So they either transported the entire village to England, or, you know, they just made it up. Closest thing I found in Cumbria was Wyndham Hotels. I'm always surprised when I play games like this, and it just runs so smoothly. I had pretty much everything set to high. Ultra always feels like showing off, you know? 1080p, 120 frames a second, and it ran as smooth as my brother-in-law's head. The sound design is excellent too. You can accurately track enemies through walls by their footsteps or the jaunty little tune they whisper when not alerted. The game does offer another way to track enemies, but I found it really annoying.
Steady now. Let's have faster.
Why would I need weapons? My fists of fury are enough. Ooh, cricket bat. You can turn it on in the settings and it adds this weird ringing around enemies. I turned it off straight away because it annoyed me. But I can see it helping people who are hard of hearing, so swings and roundabouts, I suppose. Speaking of Wales, I was kind of blown away when I heard some of the actors speaking with Welsh accents.
Just calm down. No need for upset.
Might be nothing, but
She was Welsh, eh?
You're dead. Win.
I don't know. I mean, it's just nice to feel represented. What can I say? Can this game get tedious? Yes. Yes, it can. I've looked online for, like I said, all the other reviews for notes or whatever, and I've seen quite a few people have that as a sticking point, that the game is very tedious. The resource gathering, especially, can get pretty boring because of how hard they are to find and how few you get for your effort. But that's really a small part of the game. The lack of fast travel as well can make the game drag on, like the exploration can just be a bit But once you unlock all the doors to the interchange, it does get a lot faster to move around. You want to talk about tedious? I'm currently playing through Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now that game gets tedious. I'm enjoying it, but my god, the travel is so fucking boring before you find the fast travel points. And the amount of resources you need to upgrade your stuff is kind of ridiculous. And again, tedious to find. And the characters felt kind of flat, you know? No way anyone would consider Yasuke highly respected in real life at the time. I mean, they completely cut out the part where they washed him and scrubbed his skin because they thought the Dutch were playing a joke on them.
A man deserves to be clean. Wash him. Why is he not clean?
It is not dirt. It is the color of his skin, my lord.
Did you ink your skin black?
That's a real thing as well, by the way. That really happened. I'm not making that up. Anyway, that's my review of Assassin's Creed Shadows 2, so consider that a bonus. You're welcome. So, let's talk about the story. Now, like I said, I won't be going through the whole thing because that would just take way too long. So, consider this my own version of an AI overview. You wake up in a bunker, not a shelter, okay? This is a legally distinct bunker, not a outfall shelter. And this scientist in a hazmat suit approaches you, telling you that he's been infected and that you should take his modified keycard to GTFO for your own safety.
Ai, não me deixo conforme. Não bang quando eu come.
This is some bullshit too, because I came back here later expecting to find some sort of demon mutant monster, like from Daybreakers or some shit. Or at least a body. But no, he was just gone. He just vanished.
Like a fart in Sahara.
We head outside, and right off the bat, I was impressed with the view. Oh, this looks so good. Look at this! When the nearby phone rings, the phones still work! They don't work today.
It's me again. Oberon must die. Oberon must die.
And that's the mystery of the game in a nutshell. Why is Mr. Shadow calling you? Who is Oberon? Why does he have to die? Is Oberon the king of the fairies?
Did you service Oberon, King of the Fairies?
Yes, I assumed Oberon's gender, okay? Grow up. I saw your hands shaking with rage approaching that keyboard. And the biggest mystery of all. Phone box.
What? Phones have been disconnected for years.
Fucking knew they wouldn't be
Take a
working.
knock on the noggin, did you?
So who was on the phone? Next time on KO Productions, Ko says more nonsense and makes more questionable editing choices. So after aimlessly wandering the wilderness, you come across an entrance to a military complex and discover the Interchange. I don't know why I find that name so cool. I've done a lot of reflecting on this with my therapist, but all she wants to talk about is me deflecting from my camping trips with my uncle. The Interchange is the central location for most of the plots, and literally the central location connecting all of the maps. Yes, this isn't a massive open world map. The game is broken up into 4 or 5 maps, if you include the Interchange. But the Interchange is in quarantine, so most of it is locked down until you power up all of the quadrants, and slowly bring the facility back to life, opening up the path to the deeper areas and to the mystery of Oberon. This setup had me gripped. I really wanted to get to the bottom of the mystery and explore the Interchange. The only part that confused me was this woman. When you first open the Interchange, this woman comes over the intercom and asks to meet you.
Emergency access. Whoever's in here, I mean you no harm. This is Joyce Tanner. I was part of the investigation team on Convoy 5.
Hello,
Well, gosh. This is a surprise.
you part of my
When I
team
saw
now?
movement, I thought it might be one of those awful feral goblins some people seem to have turned into. You don't look
You
like
see
a
them
goblin,
too?
though. Or an outlaw.
Ultimately, she wants you to power the facility and get to Oberon like everyone else. But here's the confusing part. She's part of an expedition sent into the quarantine zone by, I don't know, the government, I guess. Probably sent by Queen Liz herself. Their convoy was attacked when they got here by the fucking forest hippies, and she's the only survivor. Now, here's the confusing part. Look at her uniform. Her name is Joyce, by the way. I don't know why that matters. Dame should be in the kitchen anyway. You know what I mean? Anyway, look at her uniform. Classy. Prim. Proper. Cute little compass and a little survival notebook. Now look at us. We're wearing the same uniform. So why doesn't she recognize us? Or at least acknowledge the fact that we didn't coordinate our outfits and wore the same thing? This has nothing to do with the story, I just wanted to talk about it. And really, that brings us to the end of the video. I would absolutely say Atomfall is worth giving a go. Will it redefine gaming? No. And if you thought it would, then you played yourself, really. I mean, you deserve to have your dreams dashed. You should get a Satsuma at Christmas, like all the people that said this game is bad. Atomfall is a pretty decent game wearing Fallout's aftershave, and I think that works in its favour. The lack of objective markers encourages exploration, but can get irritating when you want to laser focus on one goal. The characters are pretty fleshed out in my opinion, from the oppressed townspeople to the disgraced scientist trying to undo what's been done to the world. Overall, this is absolutely worth your time, especially since it's on Game Pass. So, yeah, that's it, really. I don't know how to end this video properly, so go away.